The people of Washtenaw County want to see this site cleaned up. And the question is, how are you going to get to getting that site cleaned up? Because I've heard lots of discussions and lots of, well, there's a court case, you can't do this. We've got some people who have requested a Superfund site, some people are part of the court and the consent decree. People like me and the other elected officials are not parties to that. We have to be careful to not talk about it. But we're also at a different time and place, and I think we need to find the common ground that's still going to take time, but is going to be a plan that's going to get this site cleaned up.
We'll very shortly have the fourth of the four quarterly reports from EPA. And we've also looked at the existing data and come to the conclusion that based upon those data, that people are not currently being exposed to 1,4-dioxane at levels that pose an unacceptable risk. We've looked at the groundwater in terms of whether or not people are drinking that groundwater. We've also looked at vapor intrusion, and people have also asked the question of whether or not there's infiltration into basements. We've looked at that information too, and looked at whether it's daylighting in parts of Ann Arbor and potentially posing risk there. So having and come to the conclusion that in fact those 1,4-dioxane data do not indicate that there is currently a exposure at an unacceptable risk. So having done that, having fulfilled our commitment, and this is not a national priorities list, site on the national priorities list, we're going to be just directing our resources to sites on the national priorities list at this point in time. Thank you.